What is going on YouTube? This is Acid Roots. So I'm going to review a 2007 mixtape by Sean Kingston, basically hosted by DJ Khaled and presented more or less by Sean Kingston. He's not on every song, but basically this product is called Good Talk Volume 2, and it came out in the spring of 2007. And basically, about somewhere in the second half of 2006, early 2007, Sean Kingston got signed to a label by J.R. Rodham. From what I remember, within those particular affairs, he was huge in the summer of 2007, pitches like that big on like the MySpace scene, some of those particular type ordeals. It was kind of strange. I didn't know as much full-bound about industry plants back in 2007 within those pitches, but it seems more or less that just the timing of Sean Kingston, it's not so much that he was the industry plant, but it's just kind of the pitch that it was just not as commonplace that I think he was really had that much notoriety just a year before in like the summer 2006 pitches like that. So it's just kind of the appeal, but some excellent aspects, not that it's definitely not from a complaining aspect to say that Sean Kingston burst on the scene with excellent type of appeal. I think this is one of the initial projects that helped build him some buzz, because basically Sean Kingston, just his debut single, which was Beautiful Girls, hit #1. It was just kind of out of nowhere that all of a sudden Sean Kingston is just in the forefront of like pop and reggaeton pitches like that. So some extra type ordeals pitches like that, but it's just kind of concept as far as saying this was kind of a prelude to that, as far as those pairs would kind of happen just amidst the pitch, is something that kind of provides some sort of backdrop if you just were completely baffled by what happened. Now Sean Kingston was just there all of a sudden. It's kind of some pairs that how that initially kind of happens. So it's just the pitch. Beautiful Girls is on this particular mixtape, and there's another hit single that Sean Kingston had around this time which built some buzz in like the spring or so of 2007, which is Colors. Pretty excellent type song. It was a bonus song in the remix form on the Sean Kingston 2007 album. There's good pitches like that, but look after it here. It's kind of the conduct of getting some initial noise done. Now, I don't know how many full-bound projects Sean Kingston had around this time throughout like the first half of 2007, but this is an excellent type pitch. I wanted to get this one just to see what he was kind of doing in the early stages. Now, this is not as melodic. This is more rap. This particular project, minus the choruses and pitches like that, is more rap-oriented Sean Kingston, so it's kind of a different side compared to the stuff. If you're hoping for a Sean Kingston type vibe like his 2007 album, like songs like Me Love and Take You There and Beautiful Girls, some of those type pitches, it's not within those products, but he does have some good hooks within those particular aspects that kind of make it summer fried within a rap mixtape type sense. But this particular product is a lot more mixtape oriented, to like a primer for what was getting ready to happen in the early 2010s pitches like that. It's just kind of the format of some of that original type fairs. DJ Khaled, Rick Ross, some of these type folks were about that around this particular times, even as far back as like the spring of 2007. So this is actually kind of trendy within the aspect as far as getting towards it, as far as being able to say being like a conduit and shaping things out for the next several years as far as what's first going to happen. Kind of an early bird, kind of Datpiff mixtape highlight. Now there were of course mixtapes, you know, mid 2000s, early 2000s pitches like that, but this is just a real notable type one within the pitch, like that hustle grit that just was more within the fair, something that folks like Nipsey Hussle, who is on this project a couple times, were doing. Nipsey Hussle, Meek Mill, Rick Ross, Yo Gotti, folks like that, as those fairs started to happen. So it's just kind of been an island theme of that particular fair. If you like the Datpiff mixtape grit of like the early 2010s, just with a little bit more tropical type stuff in mind and more summer oriented with some splashes in there, it's just a good aspect to kind of get that particular vibe. Very much like a DJ Khaled album, Rick Ross from his Port of Miami days, some of those pitches within the fair. So it's just within those aspects, very watery pitches like that, I'd say, with good type flair. Now, I was trying to figure out, if you notice, this project is called Good Talk Volume 2, so it's kind of within the pitch as far as saying, I don't know what happened to Good Talk Volume 1. I was looking that up on Google to see if, like, particularly Sean Kingston did a Volume 1 of that. It's really not that much information. Now, there's another folk that seemingly had something to do with Good Talk Volume 1, but I don't think it necessarily had to do with that as full bound. It said that the Good Talk Volume 1 came out in 2009, which would make sense because this one came out in 2007. So I don't know where Good Talk Volume 1 went. I don't know if Sean Kingston had anything to do with it, but it's under tight wraps as far as going to happen, so I'm not sure the details. But this is another bona fide type product to some of the stuff that Sean Kingston was up to in that aspect, like the first half of 2007 and his initial moments in the industry. So it's good type fare. Now, there's 24 songs on this mixtape. Out of those 24, there's an intro and outro, which narrows it down to 22. Out of those 22 songs, we wound up recommending 20. But the thing about it is one of which is a repeat song. There is a repeat song in Beautiful Girls, which is the pitch by Look After It. There's at least 14 songs I'm going to talk about. So out of the remaining 6 songs, there's 3 songs I'm not going to talk about, which would be Beautiful Girls and the Deep Cover Freestyle, which Beautiful Girls is just on the Sean Kingston album, like I was saying. Not going to talk about Colors 2007 reggaeton mix, because it's the same song as Colors, just with like just with Vibes Cartel and Cardinal Official on there as far as this person. I'm definitely Dope Type 1, just getting like a reggaeton version of that, considering the fact that Sean Kingston was in that format, so it's good type fair. And then Deep Cover Freestyle is just the Dr. Dre's classic hit from way back in 92, so those type pitches, just mixtape type variations. Then there's a fourth song I'm not going to talk about within those pitches, which is All My Gangstas, which is basically just Sean Kingston freestyle and pitches like that, doing a spin-off song to like Fabulous's Make Me Better as far as what's supposed to happen, which is a good type pitch because this is a mixtape. So out of the remaining two songs, there's only two songs, like I was saying, in terms of Tibble format that I don't recommend. So those two songs would just be Never. Those two songs would just be In the Ghetto and then Prepared for War. I mean, there kind of is a single out this product. I'm probably going to talk about Colors first, so we will get to that. But just to be able to say, In the Ghetto is just kind of one. This one was just kind of a scattershot type one, just a little bit more orchestrated within pitch. Was trying to pull out the vibe of like Ghetto by Rick James from way back in the early 80s within those ordeals, but just didn't nail it nearly as well within those flares behind it. It was just kind of a messier, just kind of not compromised type song in the right sense as far as what's going to happen. Prepared for War is just kind of one. This one did not have that melodic, of course, as far as what's going to happen. It was just too much going on within the pitch of how that particular fair was just not as like. This is another one where the transition of the song was just not that smooth and real, like, synchronized as far as what's first comes. So it's just the pitch as far as saying, I like the composition of it. It's another mixtape type grit that has the format when you think of songs like Concrete Jungle and Colors and the Slums and some of those type pitches within the format. Some of those particular type ones that Sean Kingston was aiming for, like some mixtape grit and like the grime, like the seedy kind of in between weavings, but just didn't nail as well. I mean, it's really within the trenches as far as what's supposed to happen. Just like the song says, prepared for war, but it's just kind of pitch. It's just a more abrasive type one that just is a little bit rougher around the edges, that just didn't have as much full boundedness about it. So that's the two songs that I don't recommend. And there's two additional songs that I'm not going to talk about on here within those pitches, which would just be basically Never Change, and then there's another one, Never Change Them We from SA. So there's just some ones on here, considering that there were 18 songs that I recommend off this project. It's kind of the fair that we'd be here for quite a while, so it's just the pitch. Usually when bulkier mixtapes start getting past 17 songs I recommend, I just kind of cap things off at like 11 or 12. But I'm just gonna, the fair behind it is Sean Kingston's on like 6, 7, 8, 9 of these. So it's just the fair. I wanted to cover some of these other type folks as to not be rude to these folks, as to them putting in work. So I definitely wanted to talk about the Nipsey Hussle songs. The Hot Dollar Cat's pretty dope. Some of these type folks within the pitch. So there's some folks like Question, Hot Dollar, Question, Hot Dollar, Chinwa, Smoking Number, some of these type folks, extra folks on here as far as these fairs going to happen. So it's just some extra type fair. It's kind of a presented type product. Just I don't know where these particular folks came from or what particularly happened to them within these aspects. It's kind of a comprised type fair. I think DJ Khaled had some extra talent around this time because this is hosted by him. Maybe it's, I don't know if it's just more Jamaica type talent or this is more the Florida area where DJ Khaled is from. It's just kind of pitched these with some extra type folks that I really have heard nothing from either or in most situations apart from Nipsey Hussle. Just some good type fairs. So I just look after it. Yeah, there's just some spare type ones I'm not going to talk about within a sense. Like I said, not going to talk about the mixtape song and the deep cover one, some of those type pitches, but just the fair. So yeah, I would say Colors is basically the single off this project. This is probably one of the ones I noticed when I would look up Sean Kingston's biography on like Wikipedia. It would say that this was a buzz type song that did pretty good damage, that was kind of getting him in that market to get him getting his album pumped out. So Colors is like a great initial Sean Kingston noise kind of get here. Just a flagship kind of mixtape grime, I'd have to say. Just a sparkly kind of late shift, I'd say, with an aspect of it. Just kind of good for some tokes as far as this first game. So definitely get to some smoke type fair. It's just a consistent type form. Pretty pulsating type one. Definitely a throw-in type one. Very different from the rest of the vibes that Sean Kingston kind of particularly, very different from the rest of the vibes that Sean Kingston particularly kind of has. Just kind of a different, very feral and bloodthirsty as far as what's going to happen. Definitely within the pitch of just being alive and wide awake. Some of those particular type formats just jolted, having an excellent type time. Just 3-6 Mafia type carnage, just with a little bit more liveliness, real wired as far as this pitch can happen. It's kind of in that tropical kind of hot summer nights type format. So it's excellent within those pitches as far as those fairs can happen. Just amidst the product, just banner type one, just an initial. Now I want to say when I reviewed Sean Kingston, the 2007 album back in like the spring or the winter of 2023, I don't think I covered the deluxe edition with that particular song, but it was in the remix type format anyways. But it is an excellent type one banner type hit by Sean Kingston, just initial type noise. So I'll go ahead and talk about the Sean Kingston songs first, because like I said, there's a number of these. He does at least present this product within a relative type format, but there's some extra talent on here, so we'll get to some of these. Like Paid the Cost is a nice one, as well as like a Heroin kind of early bird kind of 2010s mixtape grit to kind of get within the aspects here. Just a good struggle and mush through as far as those first can happen. Just overall lit type ones. So it's just the format. Some of these typical type slime type ones, just the particular pitch of just night weaving, some of those type fairs, snack runs, that typical type product of just like the summer heat and like some night just aspects of out and about, just very much like the product of the way mixtapes kind of were in 2010, 2011, just the product of just an early bird type one that just had that particular. So yeah, this is a different side of Sean Kingston, considering that his 2007 album was a lot more balanced and paradise-like as far as what's supposed to happen, just more kind of poolside and some of those type ones that just basking and kind of smoking an L by like a beach chair, some of those type fairs. But it's just kind of pitch as far as saying the different side of Sean Kingston kind of has like that grit, this kind of money, hands rubbing kind of, this kind of money, hands rubbing kind of grit as far as this person can happen, as far as stacking things up and getting towards the product of push along as far as this person goes. So just the pitch as far as getting towards that. Another one like that is the slums, like a typical kind of late shift grit to kind of get here. The same sort of grime as like colors and paid the cost. Some of those type pitches about it is kind of some in between passage I'd had to say is good. Pretty excellent for snack runs and just token and like the night fog pitches like that as far as this person happens. So just excellent type of appeal. Typical type noise is good. Really nails the product of like after effects of this, the after hours, just having like some good fares of just, even if it is just a simple run of just picking up like some tacos at Taco Bell or pitches like that, just getting like a quick bag of combo, something within those aspects is the tone. Just easy kind of errands that just kind of has that particular grit that just is ripped out of primaries from mixtape fare. So it's a good type product. Give You Some Love is a quality one as well. It's like a nice reggaeton kind of mixtape soul to kind of get here. Just some DJ drama flavor, I'd say, about it. Just prime within those aspects, but just kind of in a more summer tropical type aspect. Kind of a day shift SFW bustle out as far as what's supposed to kind of happen. So it's just kind of, so Give You Some Love is just a little bit more straightforward, just kind of reggaeton type version, like the makeshift type format and like a mixtape type sense. It's typical kind of just passage like the day fare of like routine kind of snap to it and bustle within the pitch. Just typical kind of on the goes. I'd have to say more or less Aaron runs within the pitch, but also not as full bound kind of within the gnarled kind of grip, but to miss the product just being in motion. Way We Live is a nice one as well. It's like a dreary kind of dawn / dusk hour kind of pulls, kind of get within the tones here. Definitely good for some Denny's music, hash browns, some of that first I'd say about it. Just some usual day slag here. So just kind of miss the format of like that typical kind of sunny, just dredge within the aspect of how that. So Way We Live is just to miss the dredge as far as those formats kind of happen. Just kind of some slag type formats, just getting towards the product of like kind of in motion within the same type fare, but just a little bit more, just has a little bit more humanness about it, I'd have to say, within the tone compared to Give You Some Love as far as what's supposed to happen. But excellent type pitch. Ghetto is a nice one as well. And some of these type ones have more Sean Kingston on the hook. These next two, Ghetto and Riding So Slow, are some pitches that have like Sean Kingston kind of help out, but he's not so much full bound on the song. But Ghetto is like an evening lit kind of post work. The song Ghetto is like an evening lit kind of post work shift saunter, kind of get within these aspects here. To smoke a nice one, I'd definitely say. Politic, good stuff for like some spades and grub as far as this first comes. So just to miss the fair, like some homies type product, just out and about. Not so much kind of indoors watching like cribs and things like that. Just kind of amidst like VH1 type fashion, some of those type politics, some of those type aspect, but this is more amidst the tone of maybe there's like a bench press kit outside in your backyard, some of those type pitches, just kind of the fair like barbecue, grilled cheese, some of those type fairs outside space, some of those type things going, couple couple swishers lit, zigzags, some of those type fairs aspect, just kind of just typical type neighborhood type product within a good type pitch, politic and easy kind of neighborhood type noise within it. Some good neighborhood noise. Riding So Slow is a quality one. It's like a basic kind of late day drifting and kind of get here. Just McDonald's and Arby's type music with them pitched behind it. Basic kind of roll around some of those type areas. Just kind of some dredgy sunshine. I had to say a great song to toke several too as far as this program. So just one of those sunny type days where it's just bright, not too many clouds in the sky, or just the relative aspect, just some sunshine within the tones of this kind of typical kind of heat jur type day. This hot product of this, the slag of just like that frustrate when you're waiting in a long line at McDonald's drive-through. Some of that pitch is just easy, kind of just tearing into those double cheeseburgers, quarter pounders. Some of that pitch in the format, just good aspect for like that particular fare, just easy. Simple kind of summer commerce, good product of Sean Kingston being on this song. Riding So Slow just kind of feels like extra type noise, but it's definitely a good highlight off this album or this mixtape as far as what's supposed to have some good type appeal. Making Them Swerves is a quality one within these pitches as well. Some of these next couple are Nipsey Hussle songs, so Making Them Swerves like a vintage kind of mixtape Cali post-hour sludge, I'd say within the aspects here. Just a routine kind of day air and some of those type aspects. Just mild tasks as far as what's supposed to go. It's the pitch of like when you think of folks like The Game and like Nipsey Hussle, some of these type folks, probably too short within certain aspects, too short within some of those type aspects. It's kind of the tone of something that you'd have out of the after effect of like a 445, 545 pitch, just like that within the product, just like that, just noise, just There is some good frustrated about this album, just kind of the aspect of just like caught in traffic and like the evening type fare, just kind of, you know, smoking like a joint, something like that in the whip, as far as like the sluggish kind of roll arounds, just from the pitch of this, the dredge of this sunset peering and like vehicle boundness within those particular products. So this Nipsey Hussle's type variation, which I know certain things about Nipsey Hussle, but this kind of some new type fares is just seeing how many songs he's done like a dredge type format, just like the slag when you think of like No Doubt and Third Eye Blind, Stones type pitches, but that particular alternative rock frustrate that they do it like 430 pitches like that. It's just kind of a Nipsey Hussle version like that particular aspect, like that Cali kind of just malaise about it. So it's good type fare. Just Nipsey Hussle's tone about that, making them swords as far as dodging and ducking kind of folks that are kind of just more like trifling and ankle biters as far as this pitch kind of. So it's just from the tone as far as him. It's just the product of it. Now, I'm From is another quality one. Now, this is more vintage Nipsey to like the times I remember from him. It's like a neighborhood kind of real talk evening buzz kind of get here. Song would definitely be like an early bird kind of 2010s mixtape grease kind of get within these aspects within the tone as far as those products can happen. It's just good for like some dim venues. So it's definitely like the song Fuck Donald Trump as far as those pairs can happen from like YG's kind of 2016 albums and those type pitches. Maybe not as full bound within the aspects like that kind of DJ Mustard type noise about it or the relative sound of that kind of more ratchet type pitch, but this is within the format of this one of those type ones that this is kind of like a sets up type song within the pitch as far as chunking the deuce and kind of being dressed to impress in like a more kind of typical kind of gangster rap type fashion with an aspect this more put on for your city type fashion. So it's just missed the pitch as far as saying towards that. Great song to see walk to, similar type pitches that I'd say. Now these hot dollar songs have a good aspect about them as well. This cat definitely feels like this particular cat feels like he's from the south as far as those pairs can happen. I don't know what particularly happened to him, but he does have a profile, so I'll have to look him up to see what some of these type of songs are about. But Streets on Lock is a nice one. This has Jermaine Dupri on here who helps out with the ad-libs, pitches like that. It's like a nice ringtone rap kind of buzz song, I'd have to say, and DJ Screw type noise in the pitch, especially in the chorus. Great song to get hella crunk to and move out as far as those pairs can happen. So just rolling big, some of those type of products within the fair as far as that particular noise, or just something typical that would have felt like when you think of songs like Money on My Mind by Lil Wayne and Hustlin' by Rick Ross, those particular type formats, just to miss those tones of getting towards typical type noise that was pretty popular around this time in the first half of 2007 pitches like that. So this, the fair makes you want to see makes you want to see some things about Hot Dollar, some of those type pitches. I'd also say Big Knots, Big Chain is another nice one within these fairs as well. It's definitely like a twinkling on them things kind of roll out to kind of get within the aspects here. Just definitely reminds of like '08 Lil Wayne, something that he would have done like the Carter 3 or Carter 2 or Like Father Like Son. Some of those type pitches reminds definitely of Paul Wall, some of those type ones that he would have, songs like Grills, songs like Sitting Sideways, some of those type pitches, just that more of that DJ Screw type format, like I was saying, like Screech on Lock. This song's great for some rips as far as the supposed to happen. So definitely get tore up to it, then pitch to get some heavy smokes in your system where you're actually going to cough a bit, really have like some tones, really getting tore out head trips, pitches like that. Real nice vehicle twankiness as far as the supposed to happen. So just miss the pitch as far as getting towards like the particular just crunk aspects of some of those type tones. It's something that feels ripped out of Texas, those particular type formats. Lil Kiki, Paul Wall, Lil Flip, some of those type folks, Bun B, definitely within those aspects. Good type tones. Now, Chinwa's song Pressure's a nice one as well. It's like a riled and roaring kind of city trek and activity you kind of get here. This reminds like Wu-Tang and Jadakiss, some of those type folks that I'd say pretty busybody within formats. So this definitely reminded me of Ghostface Killah, some of those particular type pairs, just really getting riled up just to miss the city bustle of getting ready to have like a carnivorous type time, but just the priming aspect as far as having like a handful of goodies, some of those particular type pairs, just having the fruits of your labor as far as this pairs can happen, just figuring out the next moves as far as like some romps in terms of like some kind of citywide type carnage pitches like that. So I just like the conduit type fashion. Unfortunately, I mean, I think Chinwa is more East Coast within the pitch behind, but I did not get that. He didn't have that many songs on here. The only other song that he had on here was just Prepare for War, which, like I said, I didn't recommend that one. Just being able to say Pressure is a nice one. And then these other two songs, there's a song by Question I'm going to get to, High Life, which is a quality one, and then Concrete Jungle, but Concrete Jungle's by Smoking Numbers, but High Life is by Question. High Life is like a brisk and snappy kind of day cruise, I'd have to say here, just enjoying the out and about pitches like that. Just great for some joyrides and pleasure nights as far as this first game. So just to miss the pitch, this is kind of a quick time type one. A little bit of like some gallivant, some of those type fairs, just having some recreational kind of hair in the wind, some of those type fairs, just not really, just pretty carefree within aspects as far as those tones kind of happen. Just good. Yeah, just basically, like I said, joyride, some of those type particular pleasure cruises, just the aspect of that consistent fare, just typical kind of blurry kind of times and more in motion type aspects. And then Concrete Jungle is a quality one as well. Now this is by Smoking Numbers, who's another folk on here. Not as full, but I'm sure where Smoking Numbers is from. It's the same thing with Question, but Concrete Jungle's like a syrupy kind of residential sludge kind of get here, just a slummish kind of day traffic and errands pitches like that. Say just a mixtape kind of music. Concrete Jungle's like some mixtape kind of music as far as what's going to happen. Now this particular one is similar within the fashion. Songs like Way We Live by Sean Kingston, some of those particular type fares. Just another mixtape type one within the pitch alike. Straightforwardness of just kind of done with things. It's kind of the aspect alike. More 4 o'clock p.m. type dredge, which I do like the product of this album having a lot of that particular embrace, like the fair of once kind of things are more in the post type situation as far as getting towards it. It's kind of the product of having like some of those type fairs of figuring out, getting the swishers picked up, getting the Bic lighters picked up, some of these type fairs, getting like some good grub to figure out what's going to happen. I'd probably say apart from maybe Colors and the Colors remix, there's not actually, and the Nipsey Hussle song I'm From, I'd say within the pitch, there's not actually a ton of songs for like the Full Bound Fury, like when you get to the product of it, but these transit type modes are pretty interesting within the appeal, just having like that particular slag as far as just like the dredge of like the particular disc, Orange Skies, kind of post hours, kind of alternative rock within a certain sense, but more in a rap mixtape type format, kind of grid as far as this person can go. So just kind of slummish, has a hustle bound typeness, get towards the product, get it done, some of stuff fairs, but then it's just kind of, it coasts within the aspect, just having some good type times for like the excitement what happens later. So nails that particular appeal. Yeah, this mixtape easily enough gets a 10 out of 10. There only being 2 songs I don't recommend. There's really only 1 song that's a repeat song from any other project within those type of appeals. So it's just the product as far as saying. Some of these other type ones I didn't talk about just with the pitch. I mean, just understand the concept that 2 other additional highlights on here, which would be like Never Change and We From SA are some nice ones as well. So just being able to say, the mixtape's pretty stacked within the tone, so this has the format of really having the blistering type appeal. And just to say that Never Change is like a lofty type one within the sense of like some smoke centricness, just for more high up penthouse type music within the aspect, more big city bound pitches like that. And then I'd probably say We From SA is like a DJ Khaled type format, very similar to like his hit breakout song from 2006, Holla At Me, some of those type pitches, just good type fare, but not, doesn't have Paul Wall and Lil Wayne on there, but some excellent type pitches with that same sort of bustle about it. So just a city fire type one. This is probably another good nightclub song within the pitch, but just being able to say, so this mixtape gets a 10 out of 10. Easy enough to be able to say. The social score I'll go ahead and give. Maybe that's kind of trickier within the aspect. I feel like the appeal behind this product has the aspect of having like some good kind of attention grabbiness within the tone, but in terms like the sheer amount of banner type one, in terms like the nightclub thunder, like I said, it's more for like the transit type moments, like the after the post hours type product. It's not boring, but it's just something to know going in, that the fury about it, if you come to this product for more songs like Colors, it's just a pitch that doesn't have it in full bound stock. But I still would say the Colors single is really excellent within the appeal, really anchors this product. So these dredge type moments, the conduit type moments of getting like snack runs and things like that, the slag of smoke, some good smoke type fare, some homies type noise, space type music, some of these type products are just in between kind of transit and commerce. McDonald's runs some of those type products within the fair, Burger King, some of those type things, some easy kind of summer glaze kind of sunshine. It's just a pitch. I'm going to go ahead and give this mixtape either like a 9.75 social or 10. I'll give it a 10 just because it nails so many songs within the pitch. The fact that out of 24 songs on here, there's 20 I recommend, so it's just a pitch. Really, actually, it's more like 22. There's really only, like I said, 2 songs out of these 20. There's really only 2 songs out of these 24 off this mixtape that I don't recommend. So it's just the pitch as far as saying. So classic type appeal. So 10 out of 10 social. In terms of feature, like Sean Kingston has dropped a 2022 album as far as what's going to happen. It's just to miss the pitch as far as saying that he's kind of going through some legal issues. So it's kind of uncertain what's going to happen within those particular type fairs. But I reviewed a good steady string of these particular type products. It's excellent type product. But this is a banner type one. It's definitely a standout product by Sean Kingston. Very fun and thrilling. Has the aspect of like some good jive. A lot of good energy, some buzz singles on here that has some pretty good noise. It's an interesting aspect that Nipsey Hussle was on here in his early stages as far as those first games. So just the product like a good amalgamation. These folks present a lot of good songs within the formats, despite the fact that they may not have as large a names kind of the product, that a lot of these are worth checking out within these conduit type modes. So some summer slag pitches like that, some good primers, some of those type fairs, snack runs and glaze, some of those type fairs, smoke centricness, McDonald's quarter pounders, pitches like that. And I'd probably have to say just some summer dredge and sunshine, just excellent aspects, and a couple of large buzz singles.